There's more reaction to the story everyone's talking about. The CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources. Today, there are serious questions whether they will be forced to leave their job.
It's hard to believe that a single moment at a Coldplay concert would set off a chain of events that would change the lives of two powerful executives and launch a corporate scandal that would capture the world's attention. The night was filled with music and excitement, but no one knew that a single flicker of awkwardness caught on the kiss cam would ignite something far bigger. It all started with a 15-second video posted by Grace Springer, a concert-goer who thought it was just a cute moment to share. She had no idea that what she filmed would soon spiral into one of the most talked-about controversies of the year.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The woman who shot that now infamous Coldplay kiss cam that caught two executives apparently cheating is speaking out to Inside Edition. 28-year-old Grace Springer was at the concert at the Gillette Stadium in Boston and captured the moment that has now been viewed 53 million times.
At the center of it all were Andy Byron, the CEO of a billion-dollar AI company, and Kristen Kat, his recently hired head of HR. The two of them, caught in an uncomfortable freeze frame on the big screen, went from respected professionals to the stars of a viral scandal. The internet exploded, but here's the twist. Grace never meant to cause any harm. Her decision to upload the video was made in the blink of an eye, but little did she know that one simple act would unravel not only their lives but an entire company. The real story was only just beginning. It was an ordinary night at Gillette Stadium, filled with Coldplay fans dancing, singing, and soaking in the magic of the concert. Thousands were lost in the music, but what no one could have predicted was the moment that would shake the internet and the corporate world to its core. On the kiss cam, a light-hearted feature of the show, two people were caught on screen, side by side. Nothing too unusual, right? But what happened next would change everything. The camera lingered. Andy Byron, the CEO of Astronomer, and Kristen Kat, the head of HR, seemed uneasy. They didn't smile, didn't wave. In fact, they recoiled, flinching as the camera held on them. It was awkward. And in the middle of this, Chris Martin, with no idea who they were, cracked a joke. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Oh, look at these two.
In a moment, these lovers won't ever forget.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
And one the world can't stop talking about.
I'm not quite sure what to do. Did we rumble you?
Kiss cam at a Coldplay gig in Boston, and their reactions said it all. They had something to hide.
I hope we didn't do something bad.
Chris Martin knew it, the internet did too.
The crowd laughed, but what happened after was anything but funny. The clip of the awkward moment was quickly posted by a concert-goer, Grace Springer, who didn't think much of it at first. But as soon as it hit social media, everything changed. It spread like wildfire, with viewers across the world questioning the nature of the relationship between Byron and Kat. The video went viral, setting the stage for a scandal no one saw coming. But the moment was just the beginning. What unfolded after that night would unravel much deeper layers of betrayal, power, and corporate collapse.
I could have never guessed that it would be such high-profile individuals in the video. I do feel sorry for their partners and spouses that they had to find out this way.
Once Grace Springer posted the video, the internet did what it does best. It exploded. What seemed like an innocent concert moment quickly transformed into a viral spectacle. People started to recognize the awkward duo, Andy Byron and Kristen Kat. The tech world reacted almost immediately. Is that Andy Byron? Is that Kristen Kat? The comments poured in, and the questions began swirling. At first, it was just a few whispers. But as the video racked up views, things spiraled quickly. The awkwardness in their reactions wasn't lost on viewers.
If they had not tried to hide, Coldplay would have moved on?
100%. I think if they acted natural, no one would have thought twice. What a cute couple. I mean, I'm sure people in their inner circle might have caught something, but I definitely wouldn't have posted that video if the reaction wasn't the way that it was.
Fans and tech insiders alike began speculating about the nature of their relationship. Was there something more between them than just a professional connection? The questions turned to rumors, and the rumors spread like wildfire. What should have been a fleeting moment, captured in a crowded stadium, became a global sensation. Soon the hashtag #DarDumbotron started trending, with fans and critics alike discussing the awkward kiss cam clip. The video became a meme, a punchline, and an investigation all rolled into one. The consequences were just starting to unfold. But this wasn't just about a viral video. It was about to send shockwaves through Andy Byron's perfectly crafted public image. Before the scandal, Andy Byron was the poster child for Silicon Valley success. A self-made visionary, he built Astronomer from a small startup into a billion-dollar powerhouse. His AI company attracted major investors, secured government contracts, and made him a frequent speaker at tech conferences. He was the face of a new era in technology, with a reputation for brilliance and a seemingly untouchable career. Byron's leadership style was relentless. He was known for making bold moves, pushing his team to the edge, and securing deals that made him a darling of the tech world. But what outsiders didn't know was that inside Astronomer, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Byron was often described as ruthless, a man who would do whatever it took to succeed. He quickly surrounded himself with a close-knit circle of trusted allies, and among them was Kristen Kat. Her hiring was seen as a shakeup, but it was also highly strategic. What no one realized at the time was how quickly she would rise through the ranks, and how her connection with Byron would soon raise eyebrows.
It requires, to me, not one, but 2 resignations.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
But this wasn't just about business. The story of Andy Byron is one of ambition, power, and the fine line between success and scandal. Kristen Kat was hired as head of HR at Astronomer, a position that seemed unremarkable at first, but in a matter of months, her role evolved into something far more influential. She quickly became a trusted ally of Andy Byron, often seen in high-level meetings, bypassing traditional corporate structures. Some employees began whispering about her rapid rise, while others noticed her unusually close relationship with the CEO. Insiders described her as bold, efficient, and undeniably ambitious. She was known for her no-nonsense style and her ability to get things done, but behind the efficiency was a sense of unease. Her relationship with Byron began to blur professional boundaries. It wasn't long before the whispers grew louder, with some employees suggesting favoritism and questioning her access to key decisions.
Married with teenage children, Kristen Kat has been divorced for 3 years. She was hired just 8 months ago. And now that 15 seconds of video is having a devastating impact on both of their lives.
What made it even murkier was how quickly Byron took her under his wing. He personally fast-tracked her through the hiring process, even altering company policies to give her more authority. While some saw her as a rising star, others believed that something wasn't quite right. But as the company expanded, no one questioned her position. Kristen's professional reputation was about to become tangled with much more than just her work ethic. The real question was she just a strategic hire, or was there something deeper at play? As the viral video of Andy Byron and Kristen Kat spread, it wasn't just their personal lives under scrutiny. Inside Astronomer, the company's foundation began to crack. Employees, once loyal, started questioning everything. Was their CEO, the man they admired, really the visionary they thought he was? Behind closed doors, tensions were rising. Staff morale plummeted as whispers about Byron's leadership style intensified. Some employees began leaking information, and it didn't take long before the cracks in the company's shiny exterior became impossible to ignore. Slack messages and internal emails surfaced, showing playful interactions between Byron and Kat, messages that had nothing to do with work. Legal and PR teams scrambled to control the situation, but their efforts were futile. The once promising global expansion plans for Astronomer were suddenly in jeopardy. Investors began pulling back, worried about the damage to their reputations. The media circus surrounding the video only fueled the growing sense of disillusionment among employees.
Isn't laughing. She's scrubbed her social media.
I think cheating is an abomination, okay? And this man has a wife, he has children, these kids are gonna have to watch and see this. They don't look, I would be devastated if I was his wife.
Byron's attempt to maintain control of the narrative only made matters worse. As media outlets dug deeper, the company's internal problems began to surface. Employees who had been loyal to Byron for years were now questioning everything. As the fallout from the viral video continued to spiral, the PR disaster that followed was almost too much for Astronomer to handle. Legal teams were in overdrive, trying to contain the damage. Gag orders were issued, and the company tried to reframe the situation as a private matter. But the damage was already done. The public had seen what happened, and they weren't letting it go. Behind the scenes, Byron's legal team even explored the possibility of suing Coldplay's production company, arguing that Chris Martin's joke about the affair contributed to reputational harm. It was a desperate attempt to shift the blame, but it only made things worse. Byron's attempt to control the narrative came off as panic, and the media had a field day. Late-night comedians had a field day with the scandal, turning it into the punchline of their monologues. Meanwhile, parody videos flooded TikTok, with users mocking the awkward moment. The hashtag #Dumbotron trended worldwide, and the company's once gilded image was tarnished beyond repair. What was supposed to be a fun concert moment had turned into a global mockery, and it seemed like there was no escaping the endless media cycle. Astronomer was now a punchline, and Byron's leadership was being questioned more than ever. But it wasn't just the media turning up the heat. Kristen Kat, once a rising star, now found herself facing a storm of legal and personal battles. What was she willing to risk, and how far would she go to protect herself? Kristen Kat, once viewed as a powerful figure within Astronomer, was now at the center of a storm. The scandal had shaken her career to its core, but instead of stepping down, Kristen was preparing for battle. Lawyers were hired, and behind closed doors, she began negotiating a multi-million-dollar severance package. Some insiders speculated that Kristen was preparing to fight back, threatening legal action if forced out without compensation. Amid the growing pressure, whispers began circulating about Kristen's past actions. Whistleblowers came forward, revealing that Kristen wasn't the board's first choice for the job. In fact, she hadn't even made it to the final round of interviews. It was only after Byron personally intervened and insisted on adding her to the process that she got the position. The rumors were hard to ignore, especially considering how quickly Kristen had gained such unprecedented access to Byron. What was even more concerning were the rumors about their relationship before Kristen joined the company. According to insiders, the two had met months earlier at a tech mixer, where they exchanged contact information. Could this connection have influenced Kristen's swift rise within Astronomer? Kristen's ability to navigate the scandal was now in question. Was she a victim of manipulation? Or was she complicit in something far more sinister? The world was watching, and her next move could change everything. What started as a viral video quickly morphed into something far bigger, a full-blown cultural phenomenon. The fallout from that 15-second kiss cam moment wasn't just damaging for Andy Byron and Kristen Kat, it was shaking the very foundation of Silicon Valley. Investors, once eager to support Astronomer's rise, now found themselves scrambling to protect their reputations. Contracts were quietly being pulled. Legal teams were preparing for possible lawsuits, and many wondered if Byron's leadership could ever recover from such a public disgrace. As the media frenzy grew, Your Dumbotron trended in 5 countries. Coldplay fan accounts once dedicated to music turned into gossip hubs. People weren't just watching the drama unfold. They were actively participating in it. Memes, jokes, and parodies flooded the internet, creating a never-ending cycle of humiliation for the individuals at the center of it all. But the real question was what this said about the world we now live in. In today's age of viral culture, one slip-up, one awkward moment could erase years of hard work and public perception. It wasn't just about 2 people getting caught on camera. It was about the ruthless nature of social media and how it can destroy a person in a heartbeat. The story was no longer just about a corporate scandal. It had become a case study in how modern culture devours those who falter under its spotlight. As the scandal continued to spiral out of control, Astronomer's future hung in the balance. The company's carefully curated image had been shattered, and now it was facing the true consequences of the viral video. Inside the company, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Some had already begun quietly pulling contracts, fearing the damage to their brand's integrity. Astronomer's legal and PR teams were on high alert, but their efforts to contain the fallout seemed futile. One particularly revealing leak exposed a termination clause in a Fortune 100 partners contract, which allowed for immediate cancellation in the event of executive misconduct. That clause had now been activated, costing Astronomer a staggering $50 million. The company's morale had hit rock bottom. Senior engineers walked out of meetings and whispers of internal sabotage began to spread. One insider shared, "It's like working on a sinking ship, only now there's a camera on us." The media frenzy wasn't slowing down. As more leaks surfaced, it became clear that the damage wasn't just financial. It was personal. The internet had taken hold of this story, and every new piece of information just fueled the fire. As the dust settled and the scandal continued to unfold, a shocking new development emerged. Byron's wife wasn't staying silent anymore. Behind closed doors, sources close to her revealed that she had already met with divorce attorneys. The humiliation was too much to bear, especially knowing that her husband's affair had been broadcasted on the world's biggest stage. What was once a private issue had now become a public spectacle. But her next move wasn't just about revenge. Friends claimed she was considering a public interview to set the record straight about their marriage, revealing details of their relationship that no one had heard before. The thought of discussing her family's personal struggles in front of millions of viewers was something no one could have predicted. Meanwhile, the emotional fallout spread beyond the couple. Parenting groups online began to voice their concern. with some expressing anger over the potential emotional trauma this would cause Byron's children. Imagine being in high school and seeing your dad's affair go viral at a Coldplay concert. That's trauma, one viral post read. It wasn't just a workplace scandal, it was a family crisis unfolding on the global stage. As Kristen's own legal battles continued, public opinion remained divided. Some saw her as a scapegoat, others as the villain. In the midst of the media circus, Kristen didn't retreat. She stood her ground, a woman caught between a corporate collapse and a world that refused to stop judging her. But as the saga continued, one final twist emerged that no one could have predicted. The very person who recorded the viral video, Grace Springer, was about to become the next big story. What seemed like a random act of filming was now transforming her into an influencer. And the fallout wasn't over yet.